Plaintiff Cynthia Duggar is married to the defendant, and she admits that due to her crack addiction, she abandoned her family and ended up in prison. Cynthia has since turned her life around, but she's suing her estranged husband today for stolen money. Defendant Herbert Duggar says when he first met Cynthia, she was a stripper at a local club, and they used to have a normal life until her drug addiction took over and she abandoned their family. Herbert is countersuing her today for emotional distress.
Start with you, ma'am.
Judge, I'd like to start by saying I'm living proof that the drug problem in America is not just for poor people and inner city people. I came from a good life. I graduated from the Alabama School of Fine Arts with a 3.8 GPA, got a scholarship to UAB, and married Herbie in 1987. We had 3 beautiful kids, wonderful house, good life. I started recreationally doing drugs, and it took me down through there.
What type of drugs did you begin doing recreationally?
Cocaine. I was a theater and communication major, so I would do shows at night and cast parties. You know, everybody would do a little whatever, but I got caught up, and I let everything go, and I left my family, and I went out and
Did you start smoking crack after starting? You start what?
Everything got worse.
Start tooting it first, and then start smoking crack later.
That's exactly what happened, and I was 30 years old at this time, and you know, the school that I went to, I was sheltered. I didn't really know anything about what was going on.
Let me tell you how it goes. Maybe once a month, once every other month, they start socializing, snorting a little. Then comes twice a month, right? On the weekend. Then it becomes every weekend. It's just weekends. I just do it on weekends. Then it's after work. Let's go to the happy hour so we can talk business and talk about work. You rationalize it. So we can go and talk about work. You get there. You got anything? Then it becomes twice or 3 times a week. Then it becomes, whose house are we going to after work? Then it becomes, you ever had any crack? Am I right? Isn't that how it goes? Step by step by step. Then it becomes, well, I don't want to smoke it. I'll just snort it today. Right?
Yes, sir. You know, that's exactly what happened. And
then you become a full-blown crackhead. And everything is downhill from there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes,
so these professional folks who think that they can use casually, that's what happens ultimately. What did it take, 4 years?
about 3-4 years.
3 or 4
yes, sir.
years, right.
And what the thing about it is, I need to state this. I've been clean since 2008.
Good.
And I changed my life.
Good.
I bought me a house. I bought me a car. I got my kids back. My grandbaby lives with me. So I just want to state that.
Excellent.
But 2008, I got caught up, and I got caught with a lot of drugs, and I went to prison.
You were selling drugs also at that time?
I always made sure I had a drug dealer boyfriend so I could have all the drugs I wanted. And I thought that was a good thing,
This
but
is
it
during
turned
your
out
Oh,
marriage?
yes, sir.
Or
I left him.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
left
separated
your
from him
marriage.
for 12 years. In 2005, I was hit by a truck in my drug use, and I was Jane Doe dead on arrival. I almost lost my arm. I learned how to walk again, talk again, everything. So when I got to prison, $13,000 went into my account, which was at home.
From where?
My husband had my debit card because
From where did you get 13,000?
I was hit by a truck.
Gotcha. Your lawsuit.
I was hit by a truck, and so I got disability.
You say no.
No,
Let me allow him to give some background. Then we'll get back to you, and then you'll tell us why you're suing him for
Yes, sir.
stolen money. And I
Yes,
can
sir.
kind of see now you're about to say he stole
I
that
was not hit by a truck.
$13,000.
Okay, when we first got married, or when we first met, she was a dancer or stripper at a local club, and we got together. We partied.
And in college full time.
She was putting herself through college.
Yeah.
And I quit as soon as I married you.
Yeah,
and I finished school, and I had my babies and breastfed my kids and lived with you and lived a good life.
Everything. Okay, I'm
just
no
make sure you
angel.
say
I've been
that.
out in the streets before.
Yeah, I
so,
can
You're
tell
still in
you're
the
moving
streets.
the way you're moving.
Yeah.
Like,
Shaking that head.
Oh yeah.
look like you'll take a blower to yourself.
Oh, not in a long time.
Go ahead,
But anyway,
sir.
okay. So when we met, we got together, and then everything was fine. We had a normal life. After we decided we were going to slow down, and then she went back to school, and then she started getting back into the, like she was saying, back into the drug thing and getting back around the wrong people. And then all of a sudden she comes home one day and I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. It's either we're going to be together or we're not going to be together. And you told me you found you another boyfriend and you moved out and left me with the kids.
Yeah,
so
that was 12 years ago.
Let him finish though, ma'am. But you still can't act like it didn't happen.
Yeah,
Let him finish.
Yeah, I left him.
Okay. You left me with the kids, and then over the years, you've been out of their lives. You finally show back up, and then all of a sudden, you want me to make things right. And there's no way for me to make things right because the kids and I've been supporting and helping everybody all these years. And now that all of a sudden you sent us a little bit of money that I'm supposed to just stop what I'm doing.
First of all, I hadn't told him what the case is about yet. But let me say something, Judge. He's making you think that he took care of the kids all this time. He didn't have the kids either. My mom took care of my kids. We both gave the kids, paid my mom's bills, money. We took care of them that way. Even, he was out there too. He the past 3 years, he's been working on a strip club. And, when I don't know what he's been doing. I know he's drunk all the time.
No,
no. He just works there.
No,
he's remodeling the strip
and
club.
Things like that.
Oh, remodeling the strip club.
My money, I think, went to the strippers and drugs. And I quit as soon as I married you, and I finished school, and I had my babies and breastfed my kids and lived with you and lived a good life.
Everything, okay. I'm no angel. I've been out in the streets before.
Yeah, I can tell. You're just moving the way you're moving. Look like
shaking that hand. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look like you'll take a blow or two yourself.
Oh, no.
Plaintiff Cynthia Duggar is married to the defendant, and he claims Cynthia abandoned their family due to her crack addiction.
Stolen money. Let's get to that.
2008, when I got to prison, I had been trying to get on programs. I was trying to figure out a way to get out. When I was sentenced to 10 years, I decided, even if I have to stay here till 2013, I'm going to change my life. While I'm in there, I'm taking classes. I've got 13 certificates in 9 months. And, they called me to the office and they said, there's a program available. You qualify for this, but you have to have an address out of a bad neighborhood. You can't go back to these boyfriends. And I was like, great, because I don't want it anyway. The money, I had $12,000
from
come
your
into
lawsuit.
my account.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, if I send you the money, can you find me a house in a good location so that I can get out of here? My mom's like, no, I don't want to be responsible for your money. I called my husband's mom. She was like, no, I'm not going to be responsible for your money. I called him. He's like, yeah, I'll get you a house. I can find one.
Oh, that ain't the way that went.
He's a contractor.
No.
So I'm thinking he's a contractor. We're still married. We got the same last name. He could find me a house really fast and I can get out of here. Okay. I said, how much money do you need to find me a house? I want it really bad. At first I said 1,000, then 2,000. But then I said, I know he can get me one if I send 4,000 and I can get out of here. Well, I sent the money. I would call. He'd be like, yeah, I'm working on it. And just by a miracle, the judge sent me a letter and he called me back to court and the judge let me out on a 10-year. I wasn't supposed to get out to 2013 if I didn't have a house. So I would still be there if he hadn't.
No, that's not.
If I hadn't got out, if the judge hadn't called me back, I would still be in prison because this man spent my money.
No,
when I got
that's
home,
not what happened.
I got the receipt for the $4,100 for the house.
What did he say he spent it on?
So?
He said he spent it on bills and the kids. But, sir, I have receipts with my children's name. I sent them cashier's checks, each one. Anything they wanted, I was sending them money.
All right, let me hear from him, ma'am, about this money.
Well, first of all, after we met, we got together, and then she got pregnant by another man. And
man, that was after I left you.
Ma'am.
That doesn't matter. We're still married.
That's got nothing to do with this.
No, you should have divorced me then. But anyway.
I've been trying to divorce you. I want to divorce you now. I should have took you to divorce court.
But anyway, Your Honor. Okay, so she called me up and telling me that, okay, I need somewhere to live in order for them to let me out of jail. Okay, she sends some money. I take the money. I give the kids $500 each right off the top. And then I put the $2,000 that was left, it was $4,000 in my daughter's bank account. I told her I didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Sir, my daughter said that's a lie.
Quiet, man.
No, it was in her bank account. But after I gave my daughter that money, then Cynthia called and said, okay, I'm getting out. So I had an apartment arranged. So when she got out, she came home, and then she hasn't really said anything to me about it. But over the years, I've been giving everything I can to help her, to help the kids. I've been there to be the best dad I can.
What has been your work pattern over the years? Have you been
every day?
Constantly employed?
Every day, okay. Yes, sir.
He does,
yes.
sir, and he has been taking care of kids. He is a good father.
He has been taking care of the kids.
Yes,
our daughter
but that
is a
money,
good
I was
father.
sending the kids money, but
Yeah, but that didn't make up for what our daughter.
was just for me to get a house so I can get out of there. That's all I wanted him to do.
somewhere to
The
live.
problem you have, ma'am, is as you continue to say, we're still married.
Right, that's why I trusted him
You
to
should
do
have taken
this.
some of that $4,000 and gotten a divorce because it was still his money.
He didn't get hit by a truck, I did.
But you all were still married. And if you send your husband some money while you're in prison and he spends it,
I
you can't
understand,
sue
Judge.
yourself. You all are one by law. When you marry, you are regarded as one by law.
Judge, can I-
The only thing that is exempt from marital property is inheritance. Everything else is marital property. You can't say, okay, I'm going to send you a loaf of bread for you and the kids, but then I'm going to send some cheese, and that's all mine. Don't
No,
you
sir.
or the kids touch that cheese.
Sir, can I say
Just
something?
the bread.
Sir, can I
Yes.
say something? We had an agreement. He promised me he would find me a house to get out. I sent checks every week to my kids I paid the phone bill so that I could call every day. I made sure every time my children asked for money, I sent them a check. He knows that we had an agreement that he would get me a house. I have word from family members, everybody saying that he partied with my money. He had nothing to show for it when I got out. He didn't even have a place to live.
Ma'am.
He's lying. He
Ma'am.
didn't have anything.
Ma'am, the other observation I must make is that, like many others who are in recovery and who have done so much damage over so many years, when you recover, you kind of think that everything is all right and all your past sins have been paid for. And that's not the case. And you might have a point, but I can't go beyond the law. And what you might have to chalk this up as is payment for your sins of the past. And if he used that money on the children, that is legitimate. Even if he used it on dope, you used a bunch of money on dope.
My money.
No, it was his money too. You recover, you kind of think that everything is all right and all your past sins have been paid for. And that's not the case. And what you might have to chalk this up as is payment for your sins of the past.
Plaintiff Cynthia Duggar is married to the defendant, and he claims Cynthia abandoned their family due to her crack addiction.
Sir, what's your counterclaim for?
Because
emotional distress. How?
Over the last few years, I've been taking care of the daughter, and our 15-year-old daughter ended up pregnant. Then she got into a lot of trouble, vandalism and things like that. And she took my Toyota 4Runner and she, totaled it. She ran it up a telephone
But how
pole.
did she call? She was in jail.
Because if she would have been there for her daughter, this wouldn't have happened.
What? Oh my God! Judge, we need to fix this.
No, sir, you make a good point. I know what you're saying. You're saying that a young lady who does not have her mother is more likely to engage in criminal activity, get pregnant earlier, and some of what your daughter experienced may be because of your wife's and her mother's behavior. However, that is not actionable for emotional distress. You can't sue your wife for being a bad mother. And the child can't sue the mother for being a bad mother. Pardon me?
I don't, sir.
You were a terrible mother while you were cracked out. All right, what are you talking
this
about?
man's done
Both
more
your
crack than
cases are
anybody.
dismissed.
I give her a divorce anytime she wants one. I just been too lazy to go fill out the papers.